Hello everyone, Khundes here, and welcome to this new Let's Play series of Crusader Kings 2. We will be playing in this series the version 1.7b with the expansions Sword of Islam and Legacy of Rome. For this Let's Play in particular, I had been eyeing an idea for a long time, and the Legacy of Rome expansion just cemented the idea. I had been looking at the idea of playing as the proud city of Sparta. But of course, after much investigation into history, I realized that Sparta ceased to exist. So in independent realms, I had actually found out that Sparta should be somewhere here in the county of Monemvasia. So I would like to play the guy who reigns the county of Monemvasia, but not the emperor, because from what I've heard in Legacy of Rome, they introduced a lot of new things for people who play serving under playing as vassals. And at the same time, I've never played one who isn't an independent realm, and playing an emperor from the get-go is quite overwhelming. So we're gonna start small as a vassal, which I hear is very difficult, and in the name of Sparta, I will use a ruler designer to create a character from the Spartan Dynasty. Because in the spirit of Sparta will be the Let's Play, and of course we'll have a little bit of roleplay going on, because this is Sparta, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, our Spartan ruler should be a brilliant strategist, as a master of the military ways. And he shall be an aggressive leader, for this is Sparta. I've actually looked at the ruler designer a bit before, and I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do, because... Lustful, because... As a new ruler, using the ruler designer, you start with no dynasty, so it's very important to be able to have a family. And besides, we like our women, because we are Spartan men. So we'll even be hedonists, for even more fertility, at the cost of piety, but... You know, comes with the territory. We must also be brave men of Sparta. And... I actually figured something that could be very interesting is for our character to have some kind of background, so I figured we could have a legitimized bastard who is also a kinslayer. He killed his legitimate brother to take over the rule of Sparta, to bring back its former glory. Even though, well, historically Sparta was destroyed in 400, but let's rewrite history here, folks. This is going to be a crazy ride. One more trait that is required of a Spartan ruler would be ambition, and perhaps some patience. Yes, pride would be damaging to the eye. I guess this is what we'll go with, ladies and gentlemen. An aggressive leader, lustful, hedonist, and brave, bastard, kinslayer, ambitious, and patient. This will be our Spartan ruler, who is going to carve his way into history where he shouldn't have been. Look at that mustache. Actually, wait, he probably won't look like that after the ruler designer has been through with him, because I didn't change anything else. Because I don't want to bore any of you with the details. He will, of course, be a Greek Orthodox. Let's bring back Orthodoxy to the West. And with that, we are at start. And I will be keeping the map under independent realms because I just find it easier to see, but I'll be shuffling between things for a bit. And we are starting! And right from the get-go, we'll have a lot of decisions to make before we can actually unpause the game and have time flow. Very first decision, of course, is to marry our ruler. Oh, he still has that mustache, but now he has a hat too. Probably because he's a military guy, so he has an iron hat. Look at that. Look at that 18 marshal. A true Spartan man. So we need to find him a woman that will provide him enough children that the fact he is the last in his dynasty won't even be a problem anymore. Normally I would look through either diplomacy or stewardship, for both of the highest ranked traits feature a high fertility modifier. Grey Eminence is 10% and Midas Touch is 15%. Of course, we also need to find a young one, because she needs to be able to produce children for a long time, and hopefully she wouldn't hate us, because that would help. But most of the West at this point is Catholic, so at some point we have to accept that we'll be stuck with a Catholic wife. If we're fortunate enough, we'll be able to convert her to Orthodoxy eventually, show her the true way of the faith. But then again, you know, as lustful hedonists, the faith, we'll see about that when we get there. Let's see, we can have this little woman here, age 19. She's a fortune builder, which isn't as good as Midas touched, but she has a stewardship of 14. Although I'm thinking diplomacy might be a more interesting aspect, because our guy only has a diplomacy of 4, which means people will just naturally hate him. Look at that here, Grey Eminence, fertility of 10%, same as the other one, the beautiful 20 diplomacy. Humble, sure, deceitful. Probably going to be a problem with getting along with her. Wait, no, we're both ambitious. It doesn't matter that she's deceitful. Otherwise, the fact that she's ambitious, but I don't know if that's a bad thing. Although the fact that she hates me and is ambitious could be a problem later. She provides us an alliance. Our other alternative for marriage would be to try to marry into someone which will give us claims on lands later. But given that we start as like the little county in the middle of like this gigantic chaotic empire, our very first fix should be on actually having a dynasty that'll be able to hold whatever lands we're able to build up. So I think I'm gonna go with the ambitious Grey Eminence over here. She has nothing but good traits, except maybe for her deceitfulness, but she'd make a good spy master if she starts to like me too. So I guess I'm gonna go with her. Where's Dax anyway? Alright, let's see about that. Count Raymond Arnaud. This guy. Where's his... Oh, it's a French province. Well, that's kind of not necessarily useful. She doesn't have a claim on anything, but is the province... The province is agnatic cognatic, so she'll get a claim on it. If we ever feel like going to war to France in the near future. I don't foresee that happening. Now that the issue of ruler unmarried and no heir of your dynasty will eventually be resolved, and of course therefore title loss and succession, we can start looking at our ambition, which is the other indicator we have at the top. So which ambition should we pick for our Spartan ruler? Look at that nice Spartan. Well, get married is usually the easy starting ambition, because you will get it as soon as they agree to the marriage proposal. So we'll get back to that in a few days, I guess. Now, another thing we want to do is start to set things up right for the start of the building of our growing future empire. The glorious Spartan Empire that is currently within the Byzantine Empire. And now this is important to mention that we are in the Byzantine Empire, because this area, like before Legacy of Rome, would get really chaotic really fast from the Turks attacking, usually chopping a piece here, and then the Shia Caliphate, which is, I believe, is these guys, will throw a jihad in here. Although from the patch notes I heard that the Shia no longer throw jihads before the year 1100 and something. So these guys shouldn't be a worry on the short term, but we'll have to be mindful of them. If the Byzantine Empire gets too weak, by the time we get powerful, we'll be facing whatever takes them down. So our goal is to keep the empire as straight as possible, and who knows, perhaps eventually become the emperor of the Byzantine Empire. But for the time being, we have the biggest challenge in Crusader Kings 2, which is to say we start as a count that is not independent. So our first order of business should be to obtain a duchy. However, I've actually looked at this position before I started doing this Let's Play, and I know that the guy who holds the duchy we currently have land in doesn't actually hold as much power as we do. So we could normally eventually be able to force our way to take this duchy. However, the problem with that is currently in the Byzantine Empire, the crown authority is set... Laws of the Byzantine Empire. It's set to medium crown authority, which means I'm not actually allowed to wage war on anyone who is in the Byzantine Empire. So if I want to attain a duchy on the short term, I'll have to fabricate myself a duchy outside of this Byzantine Empire. And then I can try to acquire more power. But the duchy is a very important early priority. And the only places I can see myself getting a duchy is to look at weak independent nations in the near vicinity and pick them off. Unfortunately, independent nations around here are all of the Russian states, Hungary and Croatia, which are pretty powerful themselves. There's this little duchy of Dukalja. Oh, I should apologize about my pronunciation while I'm at it. I am not a native speaker of Greek or of any of the languages spoken around the Byzantine Empire, so it is inevitable that I will massacre a lot of names over the course of this Let's Play. I apologize to any native speakers of those tongues who would otherwise feel offended. It is not my intention at all. With that said, the Duchy of Dukalja is a bit too powerful for me at the moment, for I only have 2 provinces, which can field armies that are... how much? Wait, I can see it easier in my military tab. I can field about 450 men, which is not that much compared to this guy's military gathering of 483, combined with this guy's... where's this guy? Oh, he's not independent. Essentially, he'll offer 263. Well, it's very similar, and I remember that if he ever assimilates it, somehow he gets access to suddenly more troops. So I can't really look at this for the time being. Other options I have are lying in Italy. However, another problem is to look at diplomatic relationships. I originally looked at Salerno, but Salerno has 2 allies, which means I'd have to deal with actually 3 provinces, and those allies are hidden within Apulia, which could cause me further problems if they all decide to invade. So Salerno is a very dangerous proposition, and I can't even invade them right away. Another proposition I'd have is to look at Napoli or Capua. Capua has the same allies as Salerno, but Napoli is completely independent. So I could try to look at Napoli to try to get it, but that would require me to fabricate a claim on it, which we'll get to in a minute. I think it's the best option I've found as far as weak independent realms in the near vicinity go. My other really interesting option is to look at these independent Arab states. I could attack them right now with a holy war. And I believe these guys actually on his... this guy on his piddly island only has like half of the troops I have. And if I look at this, he doesn't have any allies. Most of the Arab states around him hate him. Don't know why. There's this guy who's kind of okay with him. But otherwise, the other Arab states will most likely not give him a hand. So I could go and grab this random piece of island. And would I be able to claim Girgenti? Girgenti is neutral, so if I call a holy war there, it's more likely that this will help him, this other Arab states, because declaring holy wars lead to all Arabs converging on you. And this one has the same situation, so I probably need at least enough strength to conquer all of this island before I tackle them. And at that point I'd be better off just attacking this guy directly. Although he seems to have a lot of people who may lend a hand. To consider. However, before I start any of these attacks, I should finish the setting up of my empire. I got a little sidetracked here with the prospect of power. First I'll do the technology right away, which I usually look at it once and then never touch it again. Technologies I tend to use... In Legacy of Rome, they've introduced military organization, which allows you to have bigger retinues. But I'm still torn between military organization and my usual tactics, because tactics helps you win wars by making the best use out of the soldiers you have, so the more soldiers you have, the more effective tactics will eventually become. And especially with small numbers, tactics matters a lot. So I'll focus on tactics in this 3. The other ones will go up at their own pace. Technology doesn't really matter In economy, I quite like farming because you want castles, and your castles give you more money, so hey, win. And in cultural advances, the two options are either noble customs, which helps you get along with all of your people who may otherwise revolt with you, or legalism, which allows you to hold more lands. I can currently hold 6 chunks of individual land in my domain. Legalism could allow me to get even more land. I usually like to set legalism as a focus, because the more land you can hold, basically the more, well, counties and therefore eventually power you can wield on your own. So that's it for technology. There's really nothing else to it. Next is to look at my council. Council looks kind of... Wow, I have a really good court chaplain here. Surprisingly good. So we're gonna use him to research cultural technology in Monemvasia, which will invariably become our capital of Sparta. So that takes care of the court chaplain. Likewise, we'll want our steward to give us money from our capital. We'll want our marshal. Wow, piddly 9. This guy's kind of sad. He'll be training troops here for as long as he lives. Our sad spy master. I usually like to look at technology and look at the highest legalism, so I can try to snatch legalism levels. And usually the Arab countries and some pieces of the Byzantine Empire have really high technological levels. Like I tend to go with Tiana as a place to place my spy master to study technology, because I don't feel particularly plot threatened at the moment, because I'm this random count in the middle of nowhere. And last is my Chancellor, who will, as we've mentioned, try to fabricate a claim on Napoli. Once he succeeds, we'll be able to go to war with Napoli and take it. Our goal right now is to, of course, obtain a duchy. If we can get Napoli, we'll be able to snag the Duchy of Capua, which is de jure made up of only these 2 counties, and once you control half of it, you can claim the duchy. So I can claim the Duchy of Capua, which would allow me then to just take the other half of Capua for myself. And in the meantime, I can try to claim bits of Sicily, and hopefully try to usurp this. And get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 pieces of land on the island. If I can get these 3 independent ones, I could be able to obtain the Duchy of Sicily, and then just get the rest of it. So these are the duchies we'll look at. If the crown authority in the Byzantine Empire ever lowers, we can just snag the Duchy of Achala from him, from our current de jure lord, because we hold more power than him. And then we'll have to look at kingdoms. First things first, we need a duchy. So that's done. The intrigue, we can have a plot. Oh, I can fabricate a claim on the Duchy of Achaia. Achaia? Yeah, it's Achaia. Why did I say Achala? It's Achaia. So that's the only plot I can make right now. I guess it could be worth plotting, but I don't know if it would oversee my ambition, because normally I couldn't have an ambition and a plot. I guess I'll just leave it there for now, because I don't necessarily want to plot against this guy and for him to figure it out and suddenly start to hate me either. However, before I unpause, I have one last action to do, only very fitting of a being Spartan, and I'm gonna try to attack this guy who has no friends. I'm gonna declare a holy war for this bit of Sicily here, and proclaim mightily, "This is Sparta!" And now, as the game just started, we're already waging war on someone. Alright people, let's mobilize. We need boats. We have too many boats, but that's alright. And now, we can unpause, and I will have the speed go up here. Whoa, what's going on? Oh! He would like to appoint me as marshal. What do I say? I want to be a marshal. That makes me impressive. I'll be a marshal. Then he'll be forced to be happy with me, because I'm his marshal. They got married. Yay! So my marriage was approved, which will resolve the hair problem hopefully shortly when she starts producing babies. Married for 1 piddly gold or 50 prestige. 50 prestige makes a lot more sense because prestige will become respect. Right now I'm just not respected with my piddly 21 prestige. They will learn to respect Sparta. Yes, the marriage was approved. Excellent. Pause this. Can get a new ambition. But first we'll unite the men and get them in the boats. Unite the boats too, I guess. The men will get on the boats. The boats will go off to war. Now, new ambition is required. Which ambition will we go for? Definitely have a son. Get to producing them babies. This is important. We need a heir here. Alright. To war! And baby production. And we'll pause this again before unloading our troops to look at what's happening, because I'm still currently at war also. Well, I'm part of the war of the Seljuk Turks that are invading the Byzantine Empire, and they're claiming a war for the Kingdom of Armenia, which is basically about a fourth of the Byzantine Empire, which they're just trying to run off with like that. And they have a doom stack of like 15,000 men. Makes my little 400 men or 500 men kind of insignificant by comparison. Which is why we'll attack Arabs in another country. Alright, with that surveyed, see the Byzantine Emperor is calling all of the banners, summoning all of his troops, preparing for an all-out assault against this giant doomstack, and then we're gonna have a doomstack war. While this doomstack war goes on, we'll just take a little island here that hopefully no one aside from the current owner of the island should care about. Go, men of Sparta, make me proud. Meanwhile, the boat will return to Sparta to reclaim more soldiers, because obviously we can't take the castle right now. This is kind of sad. We need more men! Quickly! Mobilize more men! It's not much, but 46 men should be enough for the time being. Stack them, get them on the boat. The boat goes to war. 46, that will get us to 388. We'll be missing 3 men. This is sad. This is sad and disheartening. Go! Proud men of Sparta. The boat will go back. Get us more men. Oh, I forgot to mention, I like to have the game at 3 arrows speed, because I find, oh, we have more allies. Joining war for this piddly island. But yeah, I like to have the arrow at 3, because I find that otherwise the game moves way too slowly. I find that 3 is the ideal speed, for the most part. Summon more men. No, we can't. We cannot summon more men. We could dismiss, no, we can't dismiss them because they're at war. We need to wait. We need 3 more soldiers somehow. Or alternatively, we could bring the boats back. And then, oh my, it seems a lot of people have joined into the war. Well, we'll see what happens. Not all is lost yet, folks. It's quite a troubling war, but as it is a holy war, we could get allies that could join us eventually from within the Byzantine Empire. Now we can raise a lot more soldiers, go and lay siege to the island, and hopefully claim it before all of the Arab states decide that we shouldn't have the island. But this is going to be difficult because it seems half of the Arab world came to war with me already. Oh, but we have a claim on Napoli. We will use it. For no matter how the war turns with this guy now, even if it turns sour, we will have an option to still try to get our duchy. Seems he had summoned 31 men. Get off the island. It is now my island. Well, not now, but eventually it will be my island. Oh my. Seems, we have a 2-man advantage for this siege. Hopefully nothing unfortunate happens. If we manage to claim the fortress, we should be fine. Unpausing would help. What else happened? More Arab states are helping the war. But I do not fear them. For we men of Sparta know no fear. However, I can dismiss the boats for the time being. They cost me money. And I need to accumulate more money, especially now that I just bought a claim on Napoli. In the meantime, I should have my Chancellor fabricate a claim elsewhere. Where else would I want a nice claim? If I can get Napoli in Capua, eventually I can consider starting attacking this place. So I'm gonna try to lay a claim on Zeta. That would be nice. Therefore, we keep on pausing and keep the war going. If nothing goes wrong, we'll take the fortress. If we take the fortress, we'll have essentially won. That would require all of the Arabs to suddenly decide not to come at me. And which war did they join? Yeah, they joined this one. Troubling, quite troubling. As long as I don't see any Arab boats in the Malta Channel, things will be fine. Now, what is my wife doing? Why do I not have babies yet? Mind you, it's only been 1 month since we got married. No, it's been more than that. More like a year and a month. A year and a month and no baby. Need to work on it, guys. She's still young. He's not. She hates me though. Religious differences and both ambitious. She wishes to become spy master, and I believe she would make a better spy master. If I appoint her, she will stop hating me too. So if I appoint her spy master, she'll do a better job than I would. Than the other guy would, I mean. I can have her studying technology where the other guy was. Don't know how well that'll go for baby production if she's elsewhere, but this game has a way with things. Oh, the siege for Sliema is almost over. Oh no! Oh no. The Emperor of the Byzantine Empire just died. This is very, very bad. Very, very, very bad. He's died, it means there's this unloved kid that's gonna be on the throne. Oh, we've taken the land. Our long-term goal is to help keep the empire together. And if the emperor died now, as an old folk, it's gonna be very difficult to keep the whole thing together. Oh, we've lost a battle at Sliema? What happened there? Holy crap, there's a doom stack on Sliema. This is a problem. This is a very, very bad problem. We're almost there. Unfortunately, it seems it wasn't meant to be, but my wife's pregnant! Now that I've lost the battle, I'm in Tiana. How do I approach this problematic situation? They're laying siege to my newly conquered castle. Oh, but it seems Tripolitana's separated. It's not war anymore? Is it? Yeah, he's separating. He is laying claim on all of Tripolitana. Go internal strife! You may be Arab, but you're cool even though you hate my face. Just lessen the pressure a little. I can work with that. You who are also participating. War infidel. Okay. Oh well, we've lost our hold on Salena for the time being. What's going on? Why is the army of Epieros going somewhere? Well, that didn't go too well. It's not the end, though. It will be the end when the Doomstack decides to come in the Byzantine Empire. However, who knows, by then maybe there will be some troops who want to help. Needs bigger Doomstacks. The Byzantine Empire Doomstack is losing against the Turks. No! Don't die! Why are you dying? We have a daughter. She's our heir too, it's problematic. We need a son. Piety is going to crap. We're almost at 100 gold. How's our army levies looking? We've almost regained everything we've lost. We're missing only 48 troops. I'm wondering what the Arabs are doing though. I guess, in the meantime, can I go to war with this guy? He hates me because I have... He has 139 men total. Where's his castle? Oh, he has a lot of things. But he still raises less soldiers than me, so one thing I could do for now is declare a second war. Which may seem reckless. However, I can't really attack the Arab Doomstack, and let me just confirm before I do this folly that he has no friends. No, he has no friends. He has no friends at all. He's not at war with infidels, so I wouldn't incur any form of penalty for going at him. While he's alone and friendless, I'm gonna go and take his land. Like, hey you, I'm taking your land in the name of Sparta. Or Sparta will rise again. Let's go back to Independent Realms and be gloriously pink. And we need boats. Anyways, just my own boats, I don't need the other boats. That's interesting. Let's go to Napoli. Now, because this isn't a holy war, no one should interfere with that one. He's already raised his troops, ready to meet me as I unload my troops for a strategically unsound amphibious assault. Why aren't I leading my own troops? Why did I lose this? Oh, right. I'm in a child train. Oh, I can't lead my own troops right now, because... I see. I can't lead my own troops because I'm currently the marshal. And he's not letting me do as I please. So I'm currently without my biggest Spartan bonus for going to battle. Can I raise more troops? I can raise up to at least 6 troops. Once their morale goes back up, I can probably go back in there, although it's going to be difficult to lay siege to things. I'm surprised though, I lost this battle, but I kept more men than he did. Let's go! We are marching back for revengeance. He's a good military leader though, that's the problem. Oh, I've gained money! I have gained large sums of money, and I have lost yet another battle. This is really problematic. I'll just dismiss them in hostile territory. It will cost me half of 34 troops. At this point, it will be faster to just wait for the recharge to happen. I must say I'm quite saddened to not have my amazing military genius to lead my own troops. It's quite problematic. I may want to quit being this guy's marshal for the time being. The Doomstack is still making progress on our glorious Byzantine Empire. And our Doomstack is only half as big. We need bigger Doomstacks. Oh, that's a bigger Doomstack. If they can get together before going to battle, that'd be good. I have 100 gold. I can spend it to do improvements. I must construct a castle village. The more money I have, the more money I'll make. And the more money I'll make, the more money we'll spend. Eventually converting that into just a large number of troops. Who's this guy? Random courtier? Who's my current? Marshal. He has shitty stats. He likes me anyway. Wow, you're still a really terrible marshal. You're bad and you should feel bad.